welcome Brad here to the call. I'm going to let him take the stage, and he's going to rock this thing. All yours.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Is that coming through? Give me a thumbs up. What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday night. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules. And I know that kids are like just getting home from school, and it's apparently, so I'm not a parent yet. So apparently this time of year is just freaking nuts, and I had no idea. And there's sports and summer and all this stuff, and so I just want to say thank you so much for being here, for taking time out of your evening, and I want you to know that I'm not going to betray your trust over this next hour. I know this time is something you can't get back, and so my promise to you is that over this next hour, I'm going to give you just above and beyond value to help you master this thing, to master your mindset, to help you overcome any of the negative self-talk that's getting in the way of you building the business that you really want to build. So before we get rocking and rolling, just make sure phones are on silent. Make sure that you take your picture for Instagram stories now if you want to do it, post it up later. I know that's a thing. Whatever you got to do, put the kids in a closet, whatever is necessary to be present here today. I promise that it will be worth your time. So let's start with some participation on this call. Type in the chat box, what's a really big goal you have this year? What's a big goal you have in 2019? And as you're typing that goal in, there's a really cool thing about it. There's a recipe to making it happen. So debt-free, teacher, awesome. Debt-free, full-time coach, Make Leadership, love these guys. This is amazing. All amazing goals, and they all have recipes, right? You already know like how to do these things, right? There's a strategy involved. To pay off debt, right? You know how to do that. To get to full-time coach, you know what income you have to replace. There's a recipe to make it happen. But something you might miss is how you go about using your ingredients in that recipe is what matters. So what does that mean? It means that you can invite 1 billion people to your challenge groups, but if your mindset's off, you're actually going to repel them. It means that you could start off on a weight loss journey, but if your mindset's off, you're not going to lose any weight. You could have the best training for your team in the entire world, but if your mindset's off, they're not going to do anything. In fact, how many of you have ever said the words to yourself, why isn't my team doing anything? How many of you guys have ever said that to yourself? Don't lie. I remember I used to say that to myself all the time. So my point with this is that what goes on in your mind, your self-talk, your mindset is by far and above the most important piece of your entire business working out. And so you've heard that before, right? You've heard change your thinking, change your life. Raise your hand if you've heard that cliche, change your thinking, change your life. What does that mean? Like, how do you do that? How do you do that when you don't want to? Have you ever noticed that when things aren't going well and you're kind of pissed off, you kind of want to stay pissed off? Or when you're kind of depressed or sad, you kind of want to stay depressed and sad. And if anyone tries to help you out or give you advice, you're like, shut up. I kind of want to just be sad right now. You know what I'm talking about? So how do you change it? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So it doesn't take a week or 2 weeks to get back on track. It's going to take 3 minutes. Can you imagine how much more you could get done in your life and your business if you could bounce back in 3 minutes instead of it taking a few days, a week, a couple weeks? So where does negative self-talk come from? Where does it start? Any guesses? Type in the chat box where it starts. I'm going to share with you a couple stories about my life. And the reason I share this with you is because I have a firm belief that negative self-talk and limiting beliefs come from our past experiences that, just like Kelsey said, cause fear in our life, right? I totally agree. And I'm going to share with you where mine came from, a couple of my big ones. Everyone's got tons of them, right? But I have a couple really big ones that held me back for a long time. And I'm going to show you how I took those and turned them into a great tool for success so you can as well. So we'll go through a couple stories and then we'll have tangible takeaways for you in your life and your business. So you might have a totally different story, and that's okay. Just try to kind of see where I'm coming from with this. So growing up, I had an emotional roller coaster of a childhood. And it gave me really messed up beliefs about how life was. And I'm curious, type yes if you can relate to the topic of money stress at any point in your life, whether past or present. Money stress. That was a huge, huge, huge struggle in my life for a very, very long time. I remember growing up, my parents would scream and fight and yell about money. It was every day. That's not hyperbole for this call. It was every day. There was always a screaming match, swear words being thrown around. And I remember one time my parents were fighting. I was probably like 10 years old. And they were fighting about whether the bank account's overdrawn again. I remember going up to my mom and being like, Mommy, why do you guys always have to fight about stupid money? In that moment, she said something really mean, like shut the F up, go to your room. I don't need you around me right now. Like just kind of, that was kind of the vibe in my house. But what really hit me was that my dad came over with a soap dispenser and started pouring soap all over my mom for talking to us that way, like right in front of us. She poured soap on her head, on her neck, down her back, like just, it was, as a kid, we're like freaking out going, what is going on? But I just remembered in that moment thinking that money caused it. Because whenever you go through something like that in your life, your brain looks for what's unique. Like what's unique in those situations that cause us pain. That's what my brain looked for in the moment. That's what I found. Money was that thing. So I always thought money caused pain. And so when you pair that with my dad working his butt off 90, 100-hour weeks to barely get by, and then seeing these screaming matches about money, I thought money was really, really bad. Like I believed it tore relationships apart. I thought it was something you had to work your butt off to barely have enough of it. And it sucked. Like I grew up my life always living too much month at the end of the money. And it just kind of sucked. And so I remember, like, for those of you guys that don't know, I was a Beachbody coach for 5 years. Built a 5-star diamond business. I love everything about Beachbody. And the only reason I'm not coaching is because it's a conflict of interest with what I do now, which is teach people how to think more positively. That's what my calling is in life. And if it wasn't a conflict of interest, I'd still be coaching. So my reason for bringing this up is when I started my Beachbody business, I wanted 5-star. I wanted elite. I wanted all these things. I wanted 10-star. I wanted Million Club. I wanted all that. But money is bad. Like, do you see how that might screw me up along the way? Wanting to sprint 100 miles an hour in one direction with chains around your ankles, right? That's how I felt. And on top of the money, I had a really, really, really turbulent relationship with my mom. And type yes if you can relate to a turbulent relationship with a family member, whether past or present, in some way, shape, or form. Now, I've forgiven my mom. That's a whole other topic. That's something I've had to go through and a lot of personal growth on, but it took some time because I was angry and I was very, very sad because I grew up never knowing who I had to be to earn her love. I never knew. Like, it was always like walking on eggshells. It was always like I would change who I was, and even if I changed who I was just to make sure she was happy, it still never seemed like enough. And it hurt. You know, I never knew what version of her I was going to get. And I just remember growing up thinking, like, why aren't I enough for her? Like, what am I doing wrong? And so it played into the rest of my life. Like seeking validation, always trying to be the center of attention or Mr. Positive, even though it was a coping mechanism for pain. And I remember just always feeling like I wasn't enough. So my reason for bringing that up is because when I wanted to build my Beachbody business, wanted to create mass impact, wanted to help tons and tons of people, but I'm not enough. See how that might hold me back in some way, right? Again, sprinting 100 miles an hour in one direction with chains around your ankles, you don't go anywhere. So that really held me back in a lot of ways. And you might have a totally different story. But where can you relate? What limiting belief or beliefs do you have now because of something that happened years ago or a failure in business that happened before that you haven't changed the meaning of yet? Because when you go through failure or trauma or pain in some way, shape, or form, some reference point in your past, it affects the way that you believe in yourself. And it affects the way that your life takes shape. And so my reason for bringing it up is that it didn't matter how many people I invited. It didn't matter how many times I posted on social media, how many workouts I did, or how in shape I was. It didn't matter. I just felt like I was stuck. How many of you feel stuck in some way and you don't know how to break through? That is what I coach people on how to do. Get unstuck. Is that something you would like to learn tonight? Awesome. Because when I was trying to build my business, the overwhelming amount of negative self-talk and the lack of belief and the lack of self-worth and the secret obstacles that I didn't even realize were there stopped me in my tracks from being successful. And I created an entire system of how to overcome that. I'll talk to you guys about it at the end. I'll have an offer for you at the end of this call on how you can take that learning to the next level. But either way, if you take this call really seriously, you'll learn 3 of the major steps that I took to exploding my life. So number 1, write this in your notes. Your thoughts are always the reason. Your thoughts are always the reason. Well, the first thing you can do is change the way you think. And you've heard that before, right? Same thing, cliche, change your thinking, change your life. What I'm talking about is rewiring the way you naturally respond to challenges in your life. Rewiring the way that you just instantly react, your gut reaction to pain. If a coach quits, if you drop in rank, how do you normally respond to that? How do you respond when tough times happen? That's what we're going to talk about. So let's backtrack a little bit. You start to tell yourself stories, right? Money is bad. Building a team is hard. You know, my teammates won't do anything. I'm not enough. I'm too fat. I don't know enough people. Whatever it is, whatever the limiting phrases are. And if you say it enough times, you start to believe it. So put this in your notes. Whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you will believe whether it's bullshit or not. Whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you will believe whether it's bullshit or not. Okay, and it's so true, right? Like a kind of a funny example of this is how many of you have ever been at a party with your friends over the years? And to sound cooler than you actually are, you exaggerate a story so you get more laughs or whatever it is. And then they laugh at it. So the next time you come back to that group gets together, you tell that story again with more conviction. And then you find yourself 5 years into the future saying that story at a party or a get together, and you don't even know if it's true or not. You don't even know what part of that story is true or not. You just say it with so much conviction and belief because you've repeated it so many times over the years. Well, the same thing happens with negative self-talk, only instead of it being a fun party topic, it will sabotage your whole life. And you'll go through life believing this. That's our default software that we need to change. And it creates inner conflict. It changes the way we lead our life and our business. That's why if we say like, why am I stuck? Well, that's where your focus is going. Whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you'll believe. If you keep talking about why you're stuck, guess what you're going to continue to be? Stuck, right? So to change this, you have to believe that you're enough before the evidence of your business will ever say that you're enough. You have to believe that you are worthy of greatness before your team is ever going to build. You have to believe that money is going to, that you are worthy of abundance before money's ever coming into your account. You have to believe that you're worthy of being healthy before weight's ever going to stay off. And that's hard to do sometimes if you don't know how, and I'll teach you how. But that's hard to do when the evidence of life is saying that it's not true. Right? So how do we do this? Well, you can change these beliefs. You can start the process. This isn't everything, but this is the beginning of how to do this. You can start to change these beliefs by changing your questions. So write this down. Better questions will change your whole life. Better questions will eliminate negative self-talk. Better questions will explode your business. If you've ever faced a point in your life where you're trying to convince yourself that you're good enough or that you deserve a goal, but you don't actually believe you can do it, there's a reason. So have you ever done that? Like you do a vision board or a goal setting exercise and you have, the rank, the income, the debt-free, the full-time coach, whatever it is, and you're looking at it and you're going, that would change my family's life forever. Everything would be different if I accomplished that goal, whatever that goal is. But there's that little voice back here, that little voice that goes, you're never going to do that, right? Like it's just whispering doubt and insignificance into your subconscious mind. Like you barely hear them, right? But it's like you already know you're going to fail before you start, even though the goal is exciting. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about, just so I know I'm not crazy. Okay, cool. Like that's what we have to change. And we can't do it all in an hour, but here's a start. So what is thinking? Thinking is nothing more than the process of asking yourself a question. That's all thinking is. Think about what you just did. You said, is that true? You were thinking about thinking. Right? So that's what thinking is. Well, if you ask yourself bad questions or negative thinking, you get really bad answers. An example of that would be, why am I not enough? Or why don't I know enough people? Or why aren't I pretty enough? Or whatever that negative question is, that would be a bad question, gets you bad answers. If you ask yourself great questions, you get great answers. An example of that would be, why am I worthy? Why am I more than enough? The mistake I made is I thought I just had to keep hitting Success Club. And yes, you do. Right? That's your benchmark of your business building. Success Club is how you grow your business in Beachbody, obviously. But there comes a point when you either consistently miss it, or even if you do hit it, things aren't happening. Or even if you are financially successful in the business, you're still unfulfilled, like you're not doing enough. Right? Why is that? There's a reason for it. So let's do an example to show you what I mean. Look around the room you're in right now and count the number of things you can find that are red. Ready to go. Count the number of things you can find that are red. Ready? Look for red, 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 look for red. Keep looking for red. Count the things that are red. Why are you looking at me? Look for red, 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 look for red. You can count my skin, I guess, as red. Look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red. Cool. Hold up your hands. How many things did you find that were red? What do we got? We got 3, we got 10 from Alexis, we got 5 from Kenzie. Awesome, Amber, great. So that's great. We got our things that were red, but question, how many things did you find that were blue? No idea. Why? Because you weren't looking for blue. But check this out. This is going to blow your mind. Look around the room right now for everything you can find that's Beachbody blue. Look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue. It's everywhere. Look for blue, look for blue, look for blue. Unless you actually don't have anything blue in your house. Look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue. Look for blue, 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 look for blue. Keep looking for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue. Look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue. Hold up your hands. How many more things did you find that were blue? A lot. A lot. Amber found a ton. A ton of them, right? And how many of you even saw green or teal and pretended it was blue just so you would feel successful at this exercise? So my reason for bringing this up is that if you focus on what you don't want, aka red, that's doubt, that's skepticism, that's pain, that's what you don't want. Those are bad questions. An example of that would be, why am I so stuck? Negative question. When you focus on what you don't want, that's doubt, that's skepticism, that's pain. And those thoughts will grow in your mind like weeds. They're negative. And whenever you see red, what do you not notice? Your dreams. Blue. You won't even notice them. But when you look for blue, what do you not see anymore? You don't see your limitations, right? So if this is doubt, skepticism, and pain, the why am I stuck, the why aren't I enough, these thoughts are actually natural. So Jim Rohn said, stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds will grow automatically. What does that mean? That means that unless you condition your mind to focus on blue, what you want, your dreams, you'll automatically find red. And the reason is because your brain does not care if you hit your goals. Your brain does not care if you achieve diamond, 5-star, go full-time, pay off debt, whatever it is. Your brain doesn't care. Your brain's primary job is to make sure you survive. It's to protect you from pain. That's what your brain's job is. It's a survival mechanism. When you touch a hot stove, what happens? Your brain goes, whoa, bad idea, right? It's a survival mechanism. So at any moment in time, it's looking for what to protect you from. So when you think about a big dream or a big goal, like hitting elite in your first year or whatever it is, your brain goes, whoa, let's be more realistic. Let's play it safe. Let's go for diamond or emerald instead, right? Because it doesn't want you to get hurt. That's what your brain will do if you don't condition it to do what I'm about to show you in a second. And the reason for that is because it's a 2 million year old brain. It hasn't evolved since then. Back then, you weren't worried about building a Beachbody business on social media. You were worried about the saber-toothed tiger hiding in the bushes that was going to eat your baby. That's what you were worried about. So we equate the same amount of fear as you do to a tiger attack to sending an invite on Facebook. It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. That's what your brain does. So when you focus on red, you don't see blue. And when you focus on blue, you don't see red. So how do you apply this to your business from the exercise we did a minute ago? Ask yourself this question right now. Why am I not enough to build this business? Just try it. Ask yourself a red question right now. Why am I not enough to build this business? Listen to all that crap that pours out of you. It's not very motivating, is it? Doesn't feel very good to ask those questions, does it? And you just kind of, even if you read like all the positive personal growth books in the world, it doesn't change the fact that you have that voice in your head that says you're not enough, right? I shared a couple stories a minute ago about where my limiting questions came from. Why is money so bad or so hard to make? And why am I not enough? What are yours? Type them into the chat box if you have some, but maybe this will trigger you. Like how many of you guys have ever said, type yes if you've ever said this. Either, why isn't my team doing anything? Or why can't I get it right? Or why am I stuck? Or why do I always mess it up? Or why can't I gain momentum? Or why is it so hard to lose weight? Or why am I so broke? Or why do I never catch a break? Or why is it so much easier for other people? Or why can't I do anything right? Or will I always be this stuck? How many of you guys are mean to yourself like that on a regular basis? Be honest. It doesn't feel very good, does it? It doesn't feel very good. And let me guess, leads to a lot of pain, a lot of procrastination, and there you are looking at your life frustrated with the results you're getting, but no matter how much someone tells you they believe in you, it doesn't change the fact you have that voice in your head that says you're not enough. So how do we change this? Well, when you set a goal, your dominant beliefs determine if that goal comes true. And goal setting is nothing more than the process of trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's all goal setting is. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is whether you're looking for red or looking for blue. That's it. If you're just hopping on this call, go back to the beginning where we did the exercise, but it's whether you're looking for red or looking for blue. And until that language is consistently blue, focusing on your dreams, you're going to find yourself stuck, not getting to your goals. And I know this because I lived it for years. So when you say the words, why isn't my team growing? And you ask that question, try it right now. Why isn't my team growing? And notice that your brain actually looks for an answer. It looks, right? It searches. And even if you're already successful, you try to find an answer to it, don't you? That's how insidious negative self-talk is. Please understand that your entire life will change if you start asking yourself more empowering questions intentionally. Your entire life will change if you start asking yourself more empowering questions intentionally. Your brain is a Google search engine. It will answer whatever you type into the search bar. And if you don't type in something blue, what will it automatically type in? Something red. And if you look for red, what do you not see? You don't see blue. So you might as well intentionally type in a question that's going to lead to a better life. You're going to get an answer anyway, so you might as well be proactive about this. When you say, why is it so hard to build my team? Or why is it so hard to build my business? Your brain finds all the reasons why it's so hard. So that's what you focus on. So you don't find the answers to your biggest challenges. When you sit down to work, your brain is literally looking for why you're stuck and not capable. So you don't send invites like you should. You wonder why more people aren't coming to you, and you refresh your online office looking for volume growth or customer leads to pop in, right? How many of you have done that? I used to do that all the time. And you just feel stuck. And what's crazy is there's amazing people and opportunities and blue around you every single day. But because you're looking for red, why is it so hard? You won't even notice it. You won't even notice it. You won't even notice that mom standing behind you in the grocery store checkout line that has high cholesterol, and you could literally save her life with Shakeology, but you don't even see her because you're looking for red. You won't even notice that single dad that lives next door that has no idea how he's going to pay for his kid's college education, and you have his freedom trapped in your mouth right now. You won't even notice him because you're looking for why it's so hard. So try this out. Why is it so easy to rank advance this month? Yeah, in 3 days. Why is it so easy to rank advance this month? Like if you're brand new, what do? You go, oh, Emerald's only 2 people. I'll ask John and Susie, and I'll ask 5 more because I know that not everyone's going to say yes right away. And you start looking for the opportunities, the solutions, the people you could reach out to build your business. You look for what you want, your dreams, instead of why you're stuck. Most of your challenges can be solved by simply looking for your dreams instead of why you're stuck. Most of your challenges can be solved. Most people just focus all the time on why isn't this working? Well, that's why it's not working. You need to switch it to what you actually want. So you look for the answer that way. Can you imagine if you flood your mind with this? Everything will change, and you don't even need to have the answer to the question you ask. You just got to live in an empowering question that leads you to the life that you want. Because when you know what you want and why you want it, the how will reveal itself. You don't need to know how. You'll figure out how if you know what you want, blue, and why you want it. Remember, every problem you face is just an empowering question you got to ask. So your homework coming out of here in 30 minutes is I want you to write down all the negative stuff you ask yourself all the time. Why am I stuck? Like all those examples that we went through. Why am I stuck? Why am I so fat? Why am I not pretty enough? Whatever it is, write down. And don't just do it for your business. Every part of life. This is a life coaching call, guys. Every part of your life. And you're going to take those negative questions and you're going to flip them to their empowering alternative. Turn it into, instead of why am I so stuck or why is my business so stuck, it's why is my business thriving? Instead of why is no one joining my team, it's why am I such a great leader? Instead of why am I so fat, it's why is it so easy to live a healthy lifestyle? Those are just some examples, right? You can do this with anything. So because we're all mean to ourselves from time to time, but if you flood your mind with a better question, everything will change. 2 questions that changed my whole life. Why am I so kind to myself today? And question number 2 is, why is it so easy? Or why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Why am I worthy of living an amazing life? I ask myself those questions every day. I still do. Because life gets 100% easier if you're 1% nicer to yourself. 100% easier. And what you're going to do is you're going to flood your mind with this intentionally. Remember, if you don't look for blue intentionally, what does your brain automatically find? Red. Right? So when I started this process, my wife probably thought I was crazy because I looked at my questions, my empowering new questions, and I recorded them on here on my phone. with passion, with enthusiasm. And I literally listened to them while I slept at night. Disclaimer, don't choke yourself with a headphone cord, right? I literally listened to them while I slept at night. I listened to them while I was in the shower, while I was doing the dishes, taking the dog on a walk. Every opportunity I could, I flooded my mind with blue, because I knew if I didn't, what would I find? Red. I'd find red. So I was like, there is no chance I'm going to let my brain do what it was built to do. I'm not going to let it protect me from pain. I'm going to go after my dreams with everything I've got. Like, how many of you guys are in a relationship or married? Raise your hand if you're in a relationship or married. Okay. I ask myself this question every day, and it's made our relationship so beautiful. Can you imagine if you had an alarm that went off on your phone like 5 minutes before your spouse got home that said, why is it so easy to fall in love with my spouse again today? Like, can you imagine how everything would be different from one question? How would you greet him or her when they walked in the door? Everything would be different. You wouldn't let the stress of the day affect you. You would just be proactive about building the relationship. Whenever Janice gets home from work, I sprint over the door and I'm just a total goofball around her because I program my mind with that question. How many of you guys have kids? Raise your hand if you have kids. What would happen if you had an alarm that went off on your phone or a Post-it note by their crib or whatever it is, like 5 minutes before they woke up from a nap or got home from school, that said, why is it so easy to be a patient and loving mother today? Can you imagine how their life would change forever from one question? One. That's all it takes. Does that take a lot of effort? No. It doesn't take a lot of effort at all, but it changes your entire life. If you're trying to lose weight or to be healthy, can you imagine if in the fridge you had the words on a Post-it note that said, why is it so easy to love my body and live a healthy lifestyle today? Can you imagine what you'd reach for? Everything would be different. So guys, your life will change if you do this. It's a promise. It's a guarantee. It's not a matter of if. It will happen if you do it consistently enough. You just program your mind with blue, what you want, and quit looking for why you're so freaking stuck. You look for your dreams. Everything will be different if you do this. I promise you, this is just one of the ways I changed my life. Is this one mindset strategy helpful, guys? Think you can use this? So I got two more for you. Number 2. Write this down. This is so important. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. What does that mean? Well, if you are so emotionally attached to a goal coming true, you actually make that goal way harder to achieve. Way harder. Like, what I mean, I don't mean you shouldn't be excited or passionate about your goals. You should be. You should get your hopes up. You should go after them with everything you've got. You should, absolutely 100%. What I mean, though, is when your happiness is dependent on the outcome of a goal. You literally make that goal almost impossible to achieve, and even if you do happen to achieve it, you are miserable. Insert the elite coach that feels empty inside, right? That's what happens. When you hit Success Club 10, you go, well, is that it? Like, you just feel stuck in some way. Like, it's because it absolutely must happen, and then you can feel fulfilled. It's like you're chasing a ghost, right? Like, how many of you have ever felt like the harder you push for goals, it's like they evade you in some way? It's like they're just out of reach. It's like they're flirting with you a little bit, right? It's like, haha, can't catch me, right? Like, that's what happens. You lose 5 pounds, you gain 7. You invite 20 people and you don't do crap for 3 days, and you watch Criminal Minds or Marie Kondo's Tidying Up or whatever you're into, right, on Netflix. That's what happens, right? It's that self-sabotage that comes back. It's because we need it to happen before we can be happy. It's because it must happen and then we can feel fulfilled. When you think that way, don't you always feel horrible? Even if you do nothing, or if you do nothing, you feel horrible because you feel overwhelmed. If you do something, you feel horrible because it's not enough. And if you achieve something, you feel horrible because it's still not that next thing. So you're literally setting up the game to lose. It's not a fun way to live, guys. You got to let go of that perfection because it won't get you to your dreams, because success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure in life. That's powerful, right? Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure in life. When you try to build a business that way, isn't it incredibly overwhelming and intense and stressful to try to solve that? You can't. It feels defeating because you have no idea how to solve it, so you start to accept it. And whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you what? You believe. Just like we talked about in step 1. right? So remember, you need to learn to see your challenges as an objective blue question. They are not responsible for your emotional well-being. And when you do that, your challenges get easier. And huge important note here, and this is the overarching focus of what I'm going to teach you and what I'll offer you at the end of this call. And it's so important to understand. Business success and money do not cause happiness. Business success and money do not cause happiness. Happiness causes those things. Happiness and appreciation for the journey and the challenge, especially the challenge, is how you overcome the challenge. Have you ever noticed that life's lessons keep getting louder and louder and louder until you listen, right? That's what happens. It's like they're pounding on your head, going, hello, right? Like listen to me, right? That's what happens with life. Lessons get louder and louder and louder until you listen. We need to see that. It's so important to understand that we're exactly where we need to be. Like appreciating the challenge is how you overcome the challenge, because you stop pushing away the lesson that's the key to your freedom. Most people don't get that. I didn't. It's why I stayed stuck for so many years. You don't need to find the answer, because where you are right now is the answer, right? You're exactly where you need to be. And so this is why Shaun T always talks about in his programs. If you want to lose weight, you have to love your body where it is now. Because why would you hate the thing that's going to get you to your goals? It doesn't make sense. You have to love where you are now. And once you can love where you are now, once you appreciate where you are now, all of a sudden you get the answers you're looking for. Because you're no longer make it wrong to be where you are. When you love it and you're going after life just from a positive mindset, everything changes. Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. Like step into the common sense corner for a second. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, and you're looking down in your creation, play ball with me here. Like whatever you believe is awesome, just play ball with me here. So if you're looking down in your creation, right, you got person A, person B. And person A is that person that focuses on what's wrong all the time. They're that person that focuses on why they're stuck all the time. They're that person that focuses on how they should be further along. They should be at this weight. They should be at this rank. They should be at this income level. And they're shooting all over themselves. And they find themselves just stuck, wishing they were further along. That's person A. Person B is that person that's going through a divorce and is so grateful because it's bringing them closer with their kids. Or it's that person that is, just found out they were diagnosed with cancer. And they're grateful because it means that they're going to live every single day with a smile on their face. And they're going to soak up the rest of this life. Or they're that person that, they go, you know what, it's raining outside. It means my garden's going to grow. Or that person that loses rank and says, I can learn so much from this. Or that person that goes outside in the backyard in the summertime and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. There's these little bees that fly around. And if you get too close to them, they have so much courage. They'll sting you. And they're like 1/100th of my size. This is just incredible. It's so amazing. This place is awesome, right? I'm making stuff up, but you get the point, right? If you're person A or person B, if you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, are you going to give more to the person that's kind of bitching about having less? Or are you going to give more to the person that loves everything they already have, including the challenge? That's the key, guys. Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. And what's so awesome about this one skill is it means you don't need to work nearly as hard for exponentially better results. Because instead of sitting there in bumper-to-bumper traffic, slamming down that gas pedal, death gripping the steering wheel, smoke's going out your tires, and all these other cars are flying by you on the highway to success. Susie signed up last week and she's already diamond, right? Jamie's been in this business 2 years less than you and he's already 15-star, right? You see all these people flying by you on the highway to success, and you're slamming down that gas pedal and you're going, why aren't I going anywhere? You realize the only thing that has been going on this entire time is just that your emergency brake is on. That's it. It's just that your emergency brake is on. So to go further faster, you don't need to slam down harder. You got to get out of your own way. That's all. You got to release the brake. Most people will try to climb this big mountain of success saying, I'll be happy when, right? How many of you guys have ever done that? I'll be happy when I get to diamond, when I get to 5-star, right? And the problem with that is it's the same thing as trying to climb a mountain with a blindfold on, right? Because you're going to step off the trail. If you need to get there now, you're going to step off the trail, you're going to lose the trail. Since the blindfold's on, you're going to trip, you're going to fall, you're going to break an ankle. You're probably never going to get to the top. And even if you do stumble across the top, you're not going to see any of the beauty around you because you got that blindfold on. This is the elite coach that feels miserable. This is the top 10 coach that feels burnt out and feels like they have no life, right? This is what happens. This happens all the time with hundreds of my clients. This is what I see all the freaking time. And that's what I teach people how to change. Because what if you just took that blindfold off and you decide to love the ups and the downs, the valleys and the peaks? And what if you become committed to the mountaintop? Absolutely committed to getting there. Super pumped up about your dreams, loving every bit of what that's going to do for your life, and committed to loving the climb. What if you make a decision tonight that from now on, you're going to go on this journey for the person you become and the growth you experience instead of just the outcome? If you live that way, guys, everything changes. Everything will change, because if that blindfold's off and you're following the trail of life, because when you go hiking out west, there's ups, there's downs, there's peaks, there's valleys, there's all sorts of stuff, right? When you're going hiking out west, even if that trail is going down away from the top, summit's up there, you're going down over here, AKA a coach quits. You get a return order, you gain some weight, you drop in rank, whatever it is. If your goal is growth in the person you're becoming, don't you learn something instead of hate something? Becomes a much more powerful way to live. And when you learn something instead of hate something, you finally get the lesson that is going to get you to those dreams faster. You're exactly where you need to be right now. You're not supposed to be anywhere else. Right here is the answer, right? Right where you are right now. Stop making it wrong to be where you are. Stop making it wrong to be at your rank, wrong to be at your weight, wrong to be at this place in your relationship, wrong to be at this place in your bank account. It's perfectly right. And until you start loving it and truly being grateful for what it's teaching you, you're going to find yourself stuck. I lived it, guys, for years and years and years. So my point in all of this, guys, is that business gets so much easier when you live this way. So much easier. Like that feeling of being stuck, that feeling of forcing things, forcing yourself to invite, finding that willpower and motivation to push that boulder up a hill so finally it rolls down the other side. All of a sudden, you're going to start feeling pulled. And it's going to be really, really awesome because everything's going to be easier and you're going to feel alive again. And when you feel alive again, guess what happens? Hey, can I join your challenge group? Hey, what's this coaching thing you're doing? People want to be part of your life if you actually feel alive. But if you are forcing it, they can tell because people's BS meter is so high. In a world where we are connected more than ever, there's less trust than ever. So if you want to do this, you have to be truly committed to the dream, not attached to the dream. Does that make sense? I can't get into the whole system of how to do that in 1 hour. That's what my program is for that I'll offer here in just a couple of minutes. But there's one more tip that I have that will drastically change how often you get into this state. Do you guys have time for one more? And so I call this the secret sauce. Number 3, the secret sauce. You might know this as genuine gratitude. Genuine gratitude. I'm looking for the people that are rolling their eyes right now because gratitude is the biggest success tool that's ever been created. Gratitude is a marriage tool. Gratitude is a money tool. Gratitude is a weight loss tool. Gratitude is a business tool. Gratitude is the biggest success tool you can ever use in your life. It's so important. And the reason is because it is impossible to feel pain if you're grateful. You cannot feel depression, anxiety, anger, sadness, resentment, jealousy, envy. You cannot feel any disempowering emotion that stops your business if you're deeply grateful. And by deeply grateful, I don't mean BS gratitude. What do I mean by BS gratitude? Let's focus on red and why we're stuck all day long, and then jot 3 things down in a journal to feel better. That is not actually gratitude. That's not gratitude. That's just trying to check another item off a list. Gratitude is something you feel in your heart. It's something you feel. And if you're going through that gratitude exercise and you actually feel it, then yeah, by all means, amazing. But you got to actually internalize it. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything for it. And that's why it's a secret sauce. So many people just do it as a checklist item. But remember, seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. When you look for blue, your dreams, you find them, right? It's all coming together. Solutions, everything comes to you so much faster when you love the life you already have. You attract things in your world. Your energy becomes contagious. You feel alive. People want to be part of your life. This is Abundance 101, guys. Abundance 101 is, I love my life where it is now, and I'm excited for what I'm going to create. That's what it means. It means you already have more than enough and you're pumped about what's next. Scarcity is, I'm not where I should be and I'm afraid I'm never gonna be. That's scarcity, right? That's what it is, like scarcity 101. We need to live in abundance 101. So one of the best ways to do this, before I get into a practice that's really impactful, one of the best ways to do this is to have some perspective. This is so important. So think about this. You're watching a video about mindset from anywhere in the world, probably in the UK, Canada, or the US, but you could be anywhere in the world really. And you're probably in a safe house with a lock on the door, blinds on your windows. You probably have a doctor you can go to get treated for medical care, or a vet you can take your dog to, or a school where your kids safely go and learn something about who they want to become one day. You probably have a job where you can pull into the parking lot and earn some sort of wage, or supplement your family's income, or earn your family's income, or whatever it is, right? And a lot of us will turn on Apple TV or Roku or whatever it is tonight after this call, and we'll turn on Marie Kondo's Tidying Up, or Breaking Bad, or Game of Thrones, or whatever the show of choice is. And most people take that for granted every day. When someone's going to end their own life in the next 7 minutes, they're going to take their own life in the next 7 minutes. Think about that for a second. Puts things in perspective, doesn't it? There's a mother out there whose child isn't going to wake up tomorrow. Just internalize that for a second. Think about that. There's a mother out there whose kid isn't going to wake up tomorrow. There are people that are literally injecting needles into their arm to cope with pain. There are countries that live in communism. 2/3 of the world live on $900 a year, $2.50 a day. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? We're so accustomed to miracles happening around us every single day that we don't even see them as miracles anymore. Most people view miracles as scarce and don't appreciate how literally everything around you was once a thought or an idea. Sharpies, a phone, it was all an idea. This team was once an idea. It was that'd be cool. That's all it was. It was an idea, which proves you can create miracles any moment you want to. We have the tendency to let go of gratitude and say, I'll be happy when the next thing happens, right? And that's setting you up to suffer in life. Because if you can take away anything from this entire talk, it's the following sentence. And it's so important to understand this, guys. Put it in notes, put it in bold, live this every day, and your life will change forever. You guys ready for it? Nothing needs to happen in order for you to be happy. Nothing. And as long as you structure your life in a way where your happiness is dependent on something else, or a goal, or what someone says, you're never going to be fulfilled or happy in the way that you desire, ever, right? Even if you have success, you could be winning at life and feel like you're losing, because the scorecard you're using to measure success is unfair, because it only allows you to feel happy if the next thing happens. And achievement without gratitude is failure. That's failure. You could have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, you haven't succeeded, right? So you're breathing. You're alive. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough to smile about? Can't we start smiling about that every day from now on? And what happens when you start smiling? Business gets easier. Hey, can I join your challenge group? Hey, can I be part of your team? They want to be part of your life if you smile and actually mean it. We have these high expectations, right? Our spouse, our kids, our team, our volume, our sales, whatever it is. And when our life conditions don't match up with the way we think it should be, we get frustrated, right? We should all over ourselves. We think it should be in a different place. Like we have these rules of what needs to happen before we can be happy. We got to let that go. Gratitude is one of the skills to do that. Remember, real gratitude though, not the fake stuff. Real stuff, because your view of life literally determines your future. So every single day, if you can focus on being grateful, soak up every hug you get with your daughter, just soak it all in and breathe in and just cherish every single moment, slowly the anxiety, the depression, the overwhelm, the fear, it goes away. It's like putting a Shakeology cup in the sink after you're done drinking it. You fill it up, it's all mucky, it's all nasty, but if you keep that water running, what happens? It becomes clear. That's going to happen to your life. You're talking to someone right now who, like, I went through a period of time for years where I knew what I wanted so bad, but I would just find myself on the couch watching TV, having these bad days, like 4 days a week. And I wanted life to change. I had all the tools to change my life. I had the support, all the stuff I needed to change my life. It was there, but I couldn't get myself to do it. We called them Brad's bad days, right? And I couldn't get myself to act. I saw my laptop literally staring at me going, dude, change your life. Like, please do something. And I was face to face with mediocrity, and I feared being there. I hated being there, but I just didn't care. But I cared so much at the same time. And even, it was like this perfection and guilt loop where I needed to do things perfectly. And if I didn't do anything, I felt overwhelmed. And then even if I did something, it didn't feel like enough because I had to do it all again the next day. So I had anxiety about it. And if I did half of my to-do list, I felt stressed because I didn't get all of it done. And so I feel down on myself. And then I feel guilty for feeling down on myself. Then I had to do it perfectly again. It was like perfection and guilt, perfection and guilt, perfection and guilt, sadness, depression, just sitting on the couch, wanting life to change. And here's what's interesting. It wasn't that I was just depressed that bothered me. It's that I was pissed off at myself for being depressed. I was pissed off at myself for being less than I could be. When deep down, like, how many of you guys know you're meant for something big? You know it, but there's something that's just going, what is going on, right? And from practicing what I'll teach in my program, I'll tell you about that in a minute, it went away. Right? Like it didn't happen right away, guys. This takes work and consistency, just like everything in life, right? But those periods of overwhelm and anxiety and depression and fear that happen 3-4 times a week, I looked a couple weeks later and it was like 1 time a week. I was like, whoa, that was weird. Then it was 1 time every 2 weeks. Then it was 1 time a month, 3 months, 6 months. And now I'm actually this annoyingly happy on a regular basis. Like actually this annoyingly happy on a regular basis. But here's the thing. I created this through the skills that I had to learn. It didn't start that way. And yes, there are still days once in a blue moon where I get the whole woe is me and down and useless. Everyone does. That makes you human, right? Everyone does. But now instead of it taking over my life for a week or two, I can get out of it in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Can you imagine getting out of that negative state in 3 minutes instead of it taking a week or 2 weeks? That's what I want to take you through right now. So for this last part of the call, guys, get somewhere where you can allow yourself to feel totally vulnerable, totally emotional, no distractions, just be fully present. Because this next 5 minutes can change your entire life if you let it, okay? So get somewhere where you can allow that to happen. And if you know that from being on video, you're not gonna play all out, you're not gonna allow yourself to feel everything, turn your video off. Seriously, no problem whatsoever. Turn your video off. Do this for you. Whatever you need to be fully here, do that, okay? And so as you're getting to that state, whether you're turning your video off or getting to a different room, start to think of something in your life that stresses you out on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 7 or higher. Like it's something where you just can't solve it. You don't know how to break through. You just feel stuck in some way. You just wish it was different. Maybe it's unfinished business. Maybe it's a business you know you're meant to build, but you can't get yourself to do it. You just feel stuck. Maybe it's a relationship challenge, a money challenge, whatever it is for you. What's that stressor in your life that really bugs you? And when you got your stressor, raise your hand just so I know you got it. When you got your stressor, raise your hand. Okay. And if it's not something that's actually really stressing you out, pick something more stressful or else you won't be able to notice that it changed. So whatever really stresses you out, figure that one out and then get to that state where you're good to go. And we're going to shake our body out. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Just trust me in this. Close your eyes. And I want you to take both your hands and physically put them on your heart for a moment. This is an exercise I learned from Tony Robbins, from Brendon Burchard, combination of exercises. We're going to go through an exercise called heart breathing. Okay? You don't need to understand it. Just trust me. It's so powerful. So take both your hands and physically put them on your heart. And I want you to take a deep breath into your heart. Actually imagine the oxygen flowing in your nose, through your heart and back out your mouth. Another one, big deep breath in your nose through your heart and back out your mouth. And notice how your breath has already calmed your mind. And feel the power of your heart for a moment. Feel the strength of it, the beauty of it, the gift of your heart. Didn't have to buy your heart, didn't have to earn it. Something thought enough of you to give you this beautiful gift of life. The moment you were born, you have inherent worth, because this heart beats 100,000 times a day without you having to do anything for it. It's the biggest gift you've ever received. So take a moment and just feel so grateful, so appreciative, so alive, so happy because this heart is beating in your chest right now. And now go to a memory in your life. What's a memory, one of your favorite memories in your life that you can step back into feeling so grateful? What's that moment for you? But instead of seeing that moment from the outside, step back into that moment like you're there. Relive it. See exactly what you saw then through your own eyes. Breathe the same way you did then. Feel what you felt then now, like it's happening all over again, feeling so grateful, so appreciative, so happy, so alive. And just take that memory, and I want you to breathe that memory into your heart right now, feeling so grateful, and take it in and just treasure it. What's that moment you love, that moment you cherish? Breathe that into your heart and know this feeling's within you whenever you want. And now go to a second memory. What's a second memory in your life that you can feel so deeply grateful for? What's that moment for you? But instead of seeing that moment from the outside, step back into that moment like you're there all over again. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt then now, like it's happening all over again, feeling so grateful, so happy, so alive, so appreciative. Just internalize that moment and breathe that moment into your heart right now. And just take it in. Now go to a coincidence. What's a coincidence? Not a memory, but a coincidence. Something that you didn't make happen, but it happened. You were, in line at Starbucks, you met the love of your life. You didn't mean to get pregnant. Now you have an amazing family. What's that coincidence for you? That moment for you that led to something beautiful that you cherish, something you value, a career, a person, an insight, a life change. What's that coincidence for you? Breathe it in and just think of how your life is so beautiful now because you went through that. You didn't make it happen. It was placed in front of you. So was that actually a coincidence, or were you being guided? Take a moment and realize, my friend, that life is always happening for you and not to you. Even the problems, they're beautiful gifts because they lead to a lesson that leads to the more elevated version of you. So take a moment and feel so grateful for that coincidence and everything it led to. And now start to well up in gratitude right now. Just start to feel it pouring out of you and just see it all over again. That first memory, see it flash before your eyes. That second memory, see it all over again. That coincidence, stack it on top of your heart. Breathe in your heart beating 100,000 times a day and try to triple the amount of appreciation and love and gratitude and happiness that you have for this amazing gift of life, and feel it radiating in every direction through your entire body now, not just your heart, your entire body, out through your arms, your head, your legs, every direction. Just circulating, feeling so appreciative, so alive, so happy. And just say thank you. Just appreciate it. Just love it. Just cherish it. And just say thank you. And breathe that gratitude into your heart right now. And now from this beautiful state, from your heart, in this beautiful state, remember that stressor that you totally forgot about? Because it's impossible to feel pain if you're grateful. Go back to that stressor, and from this beautiful state, from your heart, ask your heart to complete the following sentence. In this stressful situation, all I need to remember is blank. In this stressful situation, all I need to do is blank. In this situation, all I need to say is blank. And ask your heart for the answer right now. Ask your heart to guide you on what to do. And when you feel like you have some guidance, some sort of direction, go ahead and open your eyes. Come back on camera. How many of you guys found some sort of direction in the last couple of minutes that you really needed? How many of you guys solved a stressor in your life or a challenge that you haven't been able to solve for a really long time? Gratitude is a success tool, guys. It's a business tool. And it's the greatest skill you can ever adopt in your life, because you have one shot at this life, guys, one. And most people will go through life trying to stay safe, never really going for it. And that's not you. You just got to peek into who you really are, by the way. That's who you really are. That's you. That's not dominated by fear. Guys, you don't control the length of your life, but you do control its depth and its meaning. You were not put here to experience mediocrity. You're meant to feel fully alive every moment of every day. And I can teach you how to do that, because you're exactly where you need to be. It is not wrong to be where you are. We just need to flip perspective. Can you imagine how the world would change if what you just experienced was how you lived your life? Not just something you heard on a call once, but if it was your default setting, if that's how you woke up, if that's how you responded to challenges, if that's how you went to bed, can you imagine how things would change? Everything would be different. Everything would change. So guys, if that's something you feel like you know is just the next step, that's the solution for you. Mastering this, and especially this, if it's okay with you, I'd just love to share for a quick 2 minutes about an opportunity and how you can further that growth, how you can really lock this in so it's not just a call you heard one time. Guys, this was so top level. We barely scratched the surface. If you think this is powerful, Appreciation Academy is a whole new level. So guys, I want to invite you to join me on that. Sometimes you need that guide, that mentor, that coach that's going to show you the strategy on how to actually make this stick, how to reverse those negative beliefs, how to let go of painful things from your past and actually make them mean something empowering. How many of you guys have just felt stuck for a while and you just wish you could break through and you don't know why? This is what's going to teach you how to do that. It's a mindset course that will break you through all of it. There are 500 Beachbody coaches in this program, guys. Hundreds of coaches endorsed by the top leaders in the entire company. You name it, they endorse it. Jen Richardson says, and I quote, Appreciation Academy is the missing link that every Beachbody coach needs to finally see success in their business. Micah Folsom, double 15-star diamond coach, says, and I quote, if you're doing all the things and you're not where you want to be, you absolutely must do this. Guys, the reason you're stuck is limiting beliefs, lack of worth, all of those things. That's what makes you stuck. You don't need an invite training or a social media training. That stuff is Googleable. You need to learn how to love yourself. That's what you actually need to break through. And because your leader is amazing, we have arranged a 50% off discount on this program for you guys tonight, which is powerful. Okay, so I don't want to impress you or all this stuff with all these testimonials. That's not my goal. My goal is just to impress upon you that it's life-changing, and you can never go broke from investing in your personal growth, ever. This rips away the layers of pain, preventing you from being who you're deeply meant to be. You felt something real tonight, guys. This is not a business training. It's not an invite training. That stuff doesn't work until you master this, and especially this. Remember, business and success don't cause happiness. Happiness causes those things. Believing in yourself causes those things, right? So this is the only course I've ever seen that teaches it. It's 7 years of growth packed together, so you don't need to wait that long. And the results of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients speak for themselves, guys. So if you felt something real, if you've been living in a memory that says you're not enough, I encourage you to invest in Appreciation Academy. I'll give you details in about 30 seconds, but I encourage you to invest in Appreciation Academy. It's absolutely life-changing. And because we don't know each other very well yet, that's why I have a 90-day guarantee on that program. So you can try it. If it's not for you, you can send it back and get your refund, right? So my promise is that I'll be there for you the entire way. I will not betray your trust with this. I've been part of courses where I get thrown in a Facebook group and disappear. I'm there for you every single step of the way. And I think you can feel that, guys. So if that's something you'd really like to do, if you know that kind of mastering this is the answer, head to bradbizjak.com/team call. bradbizjak.com/team call. There's a little opt-in form. What that does is it allows me to keep track of where each coach comes from. And then the next page has all the information on the program, the pricing, all that stuff. And an automatic 50% coupon will be applied at checkout. Okay, guys? So anyways, Deidre's going to share this in your team page right after we get off here tonight with all the details, just so you guys know. But again, that's bradbizjak.com/team call. yeah, so either way, guys, thank you so much for your trust. I hope you found some value here tonight. I hope you choose to enroll in Appreciation Academy. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. You will not regret that you did. So thank you for the privilege of serving you guys tonight, and I will talk to you guys soon. I will turn it back to you, my friend.
Oh my goodness, all the stinking tears. Like, holy bananas, you're so right when it's all about mindset. We can sit there and train all day, we can take the action all day, but if we don't believe in ourselves, nothing will ever change. You hit on so many amazing points and so many huge takeaways for me personally, especially like when you were talking about climbing the mountain and just having the mountaintop be like, that's your decision. No matter where you go, no matter what you stumble over, like, it's not about just getting to the top. It's about enjoying the process in every step of the way. And I don't know about everybody else, but I've been in tears. I've been moved, and I'm just so thankful that you took the time to really like fill our cups and give to us, because all day long we can give and give and give, but sometimes we forget that we need to give to us first. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And ladies, if you want to unmute yourself and just give him some props, feel free, because I know we kind of like to love it just a little bit. All right, I will let you go.
Deidre and I actually.
Go ahead, Kyra.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, we went and saw Tony Robbins, and it was very moving, but I will tell you 100%, I felt this. Like, I was even on here late and I still felt it. It was knowing that you just have to be able to be okay with loving who you are right now in order to love who the future you is. Because getting to the future you is going to be the same person you are now. And you have to love who you are in order to love that future you that you think you're striving for. So I'm an emotional mess anyway, but like, I really, really want to thank you for your time and your energy, because energy equals energy. Energy creates energy, and you brought serious energy. So I truly appreciate your time for speaking on the call.
Props. Thank you so much. We will let you go. We appreciate you so much. Have a great night, everyone.